Morning, everybody. Next week is officially the halfway mark of school. We're almost there. Already. Next week, Monday, is January 19th, is Martin Luther King Day. It's a halfway point. We also have no school that day for anybody. That is one of your paid holidays. Then next month you have President's Day, same thing on February 16th. There's no school that day. You guys have had no accidents in the past 60 days. So kudos to you guys. Unfortunately, not this year. I guess you could say this year. We're just starting. So, I was trying to think of something to do for you guys again, like we did last year, if you could make it the rest of the year with no accidents. And I had a couple of people request this last year, so I think I was going to offer it, is that if we can go the rest of the year with no accidents, I know it's nothing spectacular, but the last day of school, aside from your already end of the year party, I will provide you guys with a cookout. I will go and get the burgers, brats, hot dogs, or whatever. And you guys can bring sides, and on the last day, we'll do a grill out. And that's not district paying for it. I will pay for that out of my own pocket. So, we can go with no accidents the rest of the year. I changed it a little bit. They did no accidents and no workman's comp. I just did no accidents. No chargeable accidents. Yeah.
What's considered a chargeable accident?
If I got to get insurance involved, it's a chargeable accident.
What happens if like someone hits us?
If someone hits you, that's not your fault.
So it's not a chargeable?
Nope. It has to be a chargeable accident that is your fault. If someone hits you, I'm not going to hold that against you. In the news, if you guys saw, this is very recent, last week, Thursday, a school bus in Indiana was pulling up to their school, stopped 50 feet from the school, went to put on their air brakes, heard a pop, and the bus started up in flames. They got the bus evacuated. Older kids and the driver managed to get everybody out of the bus. Everybody was safe. The bus went up in flames in just a couple of minutes, but it just shows that you got to know how to evacuate your bus.
Was it a propane?
It was not a propane bus.
Kaboom, though.
It was not. Let's see.
What kind of bus was it?
It was your typical diesel bus. Yeah.
Diesel.
Yeah, it was Yellowdale. Alright, we have 3 open routes and 1 monitor position open if you guys know anybody. We have 1 driver who should be starting in about 2 weeks and another one that's going to start training here soon. But we still got a couple positions to fill, so if you guys know anybody. Monitors, please remember you guys also need to check in with Kelly or whoever's opening that morning. I've checked people in a couple of times this week, and aside from a few, most of the monitors are just walking through or coming in the back door, and I never know if you're here or not, other than your driver's not looking for you. Just a quick reminder on days off. Thursday and Friday last week and Monday this morning were very rough with the amount of people off. If you request off and there's already more than 3 people off that day, we're going to ask you to provide documentation. That is not a new process, we always have. If you call in sick and we have no subs left, like Thursday and Friday where Kelly and Brandy are preparing to go out, Kelly did drive, you're going to be asked to bring an there's really not a difference in it for you guys other than the legality of it in HR, in processes for HR. We have always, if you guys are on extended leave, used your sick time, and we've honored it as if you guys were on FMLA. If you're out on medical, I'm not just gonna turn, as long as you're keeping us up to date with what's going on, I'm not gonna turn around and get rid of you because you've been on medical forever. That's essentially what FMLA does, it protects your job. We've always honored it the same way as long as you're keeping in touch with us. Any other questions on that? You probably noticed, please, the picture on Kelly's window, please shut your doors when you're back. The last one in should be shutting the bay door. Then, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you guys are doing a town hall meeting after the committee meeting today, or after our meeting today with the committee. Is that still on, Mike? No? I was asked about it by a committee member. Okay, scratch that then. Alright. Then I will turn it over to Brandy, who's gonna go over pre-trip and confidentiality.
Oh,
Not working.
no. Alright, while it's loading, I don't know if anybody's noticed this morning that the bins in the hallway, the files, are no longer in there. So your pre-trips need to be brought inside, and we are filing them away inside your spots. Okay, so last week we took them all out. We had a driver to monitor to put them together and file them away. So, moving forward, if you can bring them in and then file them yourself inside those black bins. On Fridays though, just put them in the wall so that, the wall slot right above where you put the discrepancies and everything. So that Kendall can track the mileage in our, fleet management system. Okay?
So you want us to bring them in after we get done? I'm trying to make sure I understand this, because I know you said Kendall writes down the mileage. So Kendall writes down the mileage,
Only on Fridays.
okay, all right, got it.
Only on Fridays, Kendall will do the mileage.
Okay.
So it's done every day. So, Monday through Thursday, you're just gonna bring them and put them in the slots back there, right by the mechanic's door. Alright, so, reason why we're doing pre-trip, it seems to have been a concern with our new drivers. I know most of us are veterans, but, our new drivers had questions about pre-trip, and then also, while we were going through those pre-trips last week, I told you that they were here filing them, there were a lot of errors on those pre-trips. So, I'm not going in full depth, but again, pardon me?
Don't blame me, Ben.
Blame me for what? Let's do it now. All right. So, why do we pre-trip? We pre-trip inspections to ensure that the buses are safe and road-ready, preventing accidents and mechanical failures. Last week, a lot more right now with air brakes, wipers, simple things. But again, we want to make sure that our buses are safe and ready to go on the road prior to leaving. Preventing breakdowns, accidents, legal implications, liability. What I was mentioning before, our pre-trip sheets, we need to make sure that those are fully completed between a small bus and a big bus. I I know that some drivers don't drive in a small bus, and they're taking our buses over to safety lane, and they are not realizing what to use. They don't know how to maneuver with a small bus, and vice versa. We always drive small buses, and we don't know how to maneuver and use the big bus. So we need to make sure that we know how to pre-trip both, so that when you do the safety lane field trips, then you know how to function everything when you go there. I talked to Lewis last week, which is the guy who typically does our safety lanes, and he says that our drivers pull in there and say, I don't know how to use this bus, I don't drive it. That's not a good response. We need to be able to know how to work both buses. So, doing a pre-trip. Your pre-trip starts as you approach your bus. You are making sure that your tires, wheels, lights, mirrors, leaks, everything is all working and up to par. And your front tread, what must your tread be?
4:30 seconds.
Anybody but Dave.
4:30 seconds.
Back treads, what should your back treads be?
30 seconds.
Okay, so that's big bus. What about small bus? Just asking, I'm asking the difference. We got big bus, we got small bus. We gotta know about both of them, okay? All right, interior checks. So when you do the interior, I'm showing pictures also of different ones. So when you see big buses and small buses, they don't have the same buttons. Most of our small buses, they all the knobs and everything, it's up top. So small buses old, they're right there on the bottom right next to you, and then the new ones, they're up top now. Same thing, Bluebirds and Diesel, those two are different. So again, I just keep showing the pictures in between. Yes, you're gonna hear those beeps, it's my computer still going. So, with the pre-trip for both, you wanna make sure you check your emergency exits, your seats. Making sure your seats are secure. When we go through safety lane, he does. He pulls on the bottom, he pulls on the back. Okay, if anything is loose on your bus, you should be letting us know, or the mechanics know, prior to us taking them to safety lane, and then we fail, and then we have to get a sticker scraped, and we have to wait and fix. Okay, so all these things would be notified before we get there. Safety equipment check. That includes everything: fire extinguishers, first aid kits. A couple of our buses were going through safety lane, and they didn't have body fluid kits. So if you were doing your proper pre-trip, you would have noticed that, you would have known that, and you would have told us that you were missing fluid kits, and we could have gotten them in those buses. Okay. Safety securements. If your bus has a safety securement, whether it's on a field trip and you have a 5-point harness put in there, or if you have a sped bus and the equipment's in there all the time, that is part of your pre-trip, making sure that it's secured to the seat, properly strapped. Okay. Monitors, you're the ones who will mostly be using those if you are on the bus, so you should also be checking that equipment, making sure that it's properly secured and ready to go before you guys leave here. Your dashboard and controls, testing your gauges. Sorry. For the depth tank, what should your tank not be less than? Yeah. For your trans, what's a normal operating range? Between 150 and 200? Oil, what's your normal oil operating range?
40. 260.
Okay. 40 to 60. Your bolts, normal operating range for your needle, for your position of your bolts, where should it
12
be?
to 14.
Okay. Fuel, in the wintertime, what should you go no less than? Half a tank in the winter, quarter in the summer. On Fridays, you must fill your bus up before you leave. I don't think we ever do that one, but on breaks we do. So before we go on breaks, we always fuel up. Number one thing people like to complain about is cleanliness. I complain about the activity buses, you guys complain about these buses, but we should be making sure that we are cleaning the buses at all times. Under the hood, who does your fuel checks? Your fluid checks?
Mechanics.
Mechanics, but what if the mechanics doesn't get to it?
You do.
You do. Should we be calling the office, asking Kelly to come out there and sign our books or find a mechanic? You're wasting time. You could have done your fluid check. There can be many reasons why the mechanics didn't get to it. One, Jeremy's been out all of last week, so if Fidel didn't have time to do it, he didn't get to it. If your book wasn't in the proper spot, they didn't mark it down. They probably did it, but they didn't mark it down. If your book was used up and you didn't get a new one, that could be right. So, if your fluid check is not done, there's no need to be calling the office. You could have just completed yourself and signed it yourself. Checking your belts and your hoses, making sure no wear and tear, battery, before prevents any issues with your buses. Also checking your seat belts. Okay. So common mistakes. Sorry, I have notes this time. Some common mistakes, time pressure. So, common thing that people are telling me is that I wasn't able to do a proper pre-trip because I didn't have enough time. I didn't want to be late because they didn't get on the route on time. So they're getting here late, then they're getting outside and pre-trip in their bus late, and then they're leaving. So they're not doing a full inspection of their bus because they don't want to get in trouble.
But you have to, legally, you have to do a full.
Correct. We're not telling you to stop, that's what they're telling us. So they're telling us. I watch cameras and I watch people speed through them. Or I see people try to do their proper, do a pre-trip while they're on their phone. So hearing your phone talking to somebody while you're doing a pre-trip is not a proper pre-trip. So, again, common mistakes. Don't have your phone on you. And not that I purposely grab cameras and watch you purposely to figure out if you're doing it or not. These are all things I came across. So, neglecting to use the checklist that we give you. So again, we're going to go through this in a second and talk about the common mistakes that we have on those pre-trips. And then, we're going to encourage you, we're going to talk about it. All right, so. All right, so here's our pre-trips. Obviously, they are the same for big bus or small bus. I signed it, I didn't do a fluid check, but in the fluid check, under the hood, for a small bus, yes, all of them are gonna be marked. On a big bus, we are not marking the master cylinder brake fluid. So, you're not checking the unsatisfactory, you're not checking satisfactory, you're putting NA. A lot of drivers are putting a check mark on the satisfactory. And you're not supposed to be doing that because you don't have that on a big bus. Another thing, seat belts. Drivers enter the bus and check seat belts. For small buses, you guys are checking all of your seat belts because you are equipped with seat belts. Big buses, we're not equipped yet. So you should be marking NA on big buses because you don't have seat belts. A lot of people are marking those also. Common things that we are missing. Again, we went through those pre-trip sheets last week. You are missing your Geneva 304 on the top. You're missing your bus number. Or you're writing illegibly where we can't understand what you're writing and we don't know where to go. So bus number, date. Some other common things that they are missing is your safety sticker. You just leave it blank. All these things have to be completed to be fully done. So you need to make sure that you are writing your safety sticker dates. Odometer. So all these things you're checking when you go through, you're missing these on these sheets. Then we have to come find you, or Kelly does, and she has to have you fix these sheets. Because they were sitting in the hallway for so long, there's times where back in October. So again, at that point, we can't fix the odometer from October. Other things that we are marking on big buses or small buses that we should not be is the neutral safety switch. You don't have that on a small bus, but you're marking satisfactory. A vacuum and air pressure gauge. You don't have that, but you're marking it satisfactory. Driver's seats. That is where everybody is marking it. So again, big buses, you don't have regular seat belts, but you do have the driver's one. That's what you should be marking. And then another common thing that you're not doing is you're not signing it. You were the one who completed the trip sheet, so you need to sign it. All those things need to be done prior to handing those sheets in. Any questions? Shouldn't be, but just in case. Any questions? Okay. Next one. Markings. Another common thing that we're mistaken on. You are double crossing to where on the right hand side you are making a satisfactory mark, but your mark is so large that it's showing up as an unsatisfactory on the other side. Or you're doing it very simple, I'm gonna cheat it out, I'm gonna write a straight line down, we're all satisfactory, we're running out of time. I'm just all good. That's a no. So you're either marking an X inside that circle, we know it's satisfactory, or we know that it's unsatisfactory, or you're doing a check mark. One or the other. But we are no longer doing a straight line down. You can't do a mark where it's gonna be shot across, where it's looking like it's unsatisfactory, but it's satisfactory. I know you're in a hurry, I know you do this every single day, but you gotta mark them correctly. Okay? Any questions? All right. Again, if you're a new bus driver, you could always come and examine the buses on your own. We always ask you to, but to say that you don't know how to pre-trip a small bus versus a big bus is not an excuse because you tested in a big bus. So if you're always in a small bus, you tested in a big bus, you should be able to do that. So pre-trips are no longer out there, you're gonna file them in there, we're not done yet. Another important thing that we have to discuss is confidentiality. And we're not talking about you, yourself, and when you get in trouble. We don't speak about you guys when we talk to you one-on-one. Whether or not you come in here and talk about yourself, that's up to you. I said, if you want everybody to know your business, that's your business. But when it comes to a student, that's not okay. We need to be careful. In the last few months, we are breaking confidentiality of all these students. Okay? We've overheard drivers talking. It's one thing to talk to a driver to let them know how they can best work with that child. That's different. Okay? We share with you what's wrong, and that's what's wrong. We share with you what triggers them and what works best with them so that you guys can best suit and drive them. But when you're sitting here in the driver's room talking about an incident with a child, you don't know who's walking through the building. Teachers and coaches come through here all the time. Admin come through here all the time, and if they overhear you, their kids go to the school also. There's a couple times we were out here talking, and it wasn't just about this child, you know, he works better when you don't talk to him, or you give him his space, or, you know, he uses this fidget, or he uses that fidget. No, we're talking about, I walked into where, ooh, you got that kid? Oh, he's really bad. Do you have him sit with here? You know, oh, good luck on that one. These are comments that we should not be saying about these kids. Nor should we be.
But you're not naming names?
Oh, we were naming names.
That's the key then, right? I mean, if you had that conversation and then name names, is that?
Okay, so what if we were out in public and say we're at a bowling alley, I'm out there with, say, Kelly, me and Kelly are out there, and they know that I'm the driver. And mom is sitting right next to us, I didn't see them because the bowling alley are packed. And me and Kelly were having a casual conversation. Hey, did you know what Bobby did the other night? You know, on the bus, he was doing this. They heard the conversation. Now I'm talking about their student out in public. Yes, we're here, but again, it's still a public area. Anybody's able to walk in here. So, confidentiality is confidentiality. We're not talking about that student. It got as far in the last month that a driver was speaking to another parent about another student. We were talking about their disability. We were talking about what they do wrong in the bus. Not their own students, but somebody else's. We were talking about how that student was adopted. Okay? We are not talking to other parents about another student. If you want to talk about their student, that's their thing. That's their student, you're talking about them. But we are not crossing the line and talking about another student who does not belong with that family. Okay? We are breaking a lot of rules by doing that. Okay? Special education students are protected by, they call it IDEA. That is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Also, students are protected by FERPA, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So on big buses, same thing goes with you guys. Those are regular education students. If you talk about their personal, and if kids talk to you, they talk to you. Kids don't know how to be quiet. But you're not going and talking about those kids after they talk to you with somebody else, okay? Somebody comes to the bus and says, hey, I heard that Susie was hitting my child. All you can say is that you were investigating the situation, you cannot name names, you cannot confirm, or you can say, yes, he got hit, but I can't say the child's name. You may think that's silly that you don't have to say. You are not allowed to speak to those parents about another child. As a teacher, I know not teachers, but again, as a teacher, you are not allowed to speak to the parents about another student. You can only speak about their child and what happened in front of them. Again, you can say what had happened to them, but you're not speaking of that other child's name. Go ahead. What are you saying, Kathy?
I said, so you could say to the parent, yeah, your kid really got smacked in the head, but you're not saying who did it.
Right.
Right.
You can say that there was an incident on the bus that was reported to the school, and the school is going to contact you to discuss that further. So you're not discussing anything else. All you're saying is that there was an incident on the bus. Again, child got hit, but the school was notified and they're gonna contact you. That's all we're saying then. We don't have to go into depth and share your feelings and say that he got his if he said got his butt kicked and whatever. We're not talking like that. We are just stating the facts, okay? Within the boundaries of not crossing the line of confidentiality, okay? It's fine to share with another coworker. Again, if Jeannie drove, who did you drive last year? Or,
Flynn.
okay, so he's driving Flynn this year, and now he's on another bus this year, okay? He switched schools. So, it's fine. We just said his name is Flynn, we didn't say anything else. But she's allowed to talk to the other driver about what works and, for him to ride the bus and what doesn't work, okay? We don't have to acknowledge that he's got autism, or that he, we can say that he has dark sides where he likes to talk about dark things, so we just kind of redirect him and we talk about something else. Okay, but we don't have to talk about anything else. I know we tell people that the student has autism, but again, that's just to let you know that you have to give commands one at a time, 2 steps. You give them a command and then you're waiting. You can't just keep probing and keep asking and keep asking. So again, giving you a diagnosis of something is just supposed to help you to be able to help the students to ride to school safely or ride home. Like I said, need to know access. I know that a lot of the IEPs I don't even have access to. If there's a medical plan, I'm allowed to get that information so that I can give it to you because you need to know if the kid has a seizure or if the kid is allergic to something. So again, I'm even also limited to what information I get so that I can share it with you. But those crucial things, like a medical plan, seizures and things like that, that's what we can share with. But if Kathy's got a student on the bus who has seizures, there's no reason why Andy needs to know that information. Unless Andy plans on driving that bus and those students, there's no reason why Andy needs to know that information. Any questions so far? Okay. I'm still gonna finish early. You guys are all excited.
I have something,
Go ahead.
nothing to do with this, but, when I do a propane bus, I'm trying to fuel it up over there. Parking, I'm trying to know exactly where to park that bus and not get stuck to make the left turn. And I just would like some cones or a marking, say where the front tires could go, that you know you're gonna usually make it around, so you don't back up.
Can't you spray paint a line out there?
Yeah.
We would have to talk to O&M. So it's not something that we could just go out there and
Put
do
an
it.
X right in the middle of that road.
Say that again?
Put an X right in the middle of that exit road. Seriously.
You know what?
You line up your door to that.
I'm only laughing because, again, that's something that we can't just go out there and do. I mean, we can go out there and use chalk because it just washes away. But we can't go out there and spray paint without permission from O&M. Okay, so that's something that we can request out there to O&M. I can put a cone out
Sticks in
there.
the ground.
Huh?
One of those sticks in the ground, excuse me.
Fidel, do we have more stakes?
We've got some paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, We can try to put the stakes in the grass, but again, that's not it's not telling you where you can stop. We can put cones out there, but if once put cones out there, you're
And
gonna
then
run
the
them over.
hose stretches and, you know, it's really frustrating for me. I feel like I'm in a situation that I shouldn't be in.
Well, then go through the O&M process. That's what it takes.
So, again, I can bring it up to Matt, and we can talk to O&M, and then we can try to figure out.
I didn't know if that was a community, going to the community to ask what we can do about it, if you guys should know.
No, it would go through us. So it would just go to Matt, and then Matt can try to figure it out, so.
If you go through OEM, can they get our input on where to put it?
Yes.
We've all seen their work, those numbers are a joke.
Those numbers are a joke. We all think they're too small. But that's, so the plan they received is what they got from the office. I didn't say me, but that's what they got from the office. The size of it was not our decision, it's just what they had on hand, because they had forgotten to tell the company who actually painted this, the markings, to actually put numbers on it. So I don't know if it's gonna be like that for next year. They just did it for an easy fix. They call it easy fix. So, but yes, they would.
Or color choice too.
What you want, pink?
Yeah. How about something you can see?
I think that's what that is. So, any questions on confidentiality or on pre-tripping? I mean, I could have gone further in depth on pre-tripping, but there's, again, you guys are mostly veterans in here. Anybody who's new, you can grab a mentor or a veteran driver and you can go out and pre-trip. If you're doing safety lane, I prefer you to know exactly how to work both buses so that we are not coming back and failing. Last month, we were failing on horns because the horn didn't work, or the reverse wasn't going. So when you were going in reverse, you got to reverse out of a bay, but then you didn't know that it wasn't beeping when you were reversing, so we failed.
The problem with the horns on those propanes is they work and then they don't work. You do your pre-trip, it works, and you get there and it quits working.
I understand that. They actually put in an order to fix those. So those should be fixed soon. So, we got a driver who drives the propane whose horns like that, and he got it through. But yes, we did put in an order to fix those horns, so hopefully they'll be fixed soon. I'm not allowed to let you leave early, so I have questions. I know, I'm sorry. I talk fast and I can get you guys out of here in a half hour, but I'm not allowed to. So, with
Are
that
they
being
gonna put
said,
some gravel down over here so we don't have to walk through the mud
where?
out the back door?
I didn't know there was gravel back there.
No, can they?
Oh, I don't know. That's something we can talk about, like Matt.
Don't do it on some picnic tables, they promised them.
Matt had mentioned the picnic tables, but
No, it was the other guy.
that was Todd.
Yep.
Okay, so we want picnic tables and you want gravel.
The boss will be the boss.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So my question is.
I can't hear you.
Thank you. Sorry. So my question, I did a field trip with Saturday.
Yes.
You know, I ended up calling you Saturday.
Yep.
And my question is, because of what happened, should there be like a standby driver, just in case, where, something was supposed to be planned and was not planned?
That would have to be brought up to the committee, because what you're asking me is that I have to have a driver be paid because they are taking a day off of their own personal time to wait around to see if someone doesn't show up for their trip.
Okay.
So
that would go to the committee?
that would go to the committee, and then, again, through Matt, and then, yeah, there's a process for that. But again, what you're initially saying is that I have to pay somebody, because again, no one's gonna say, hey, I'll volunteer to stay around Saturday in case someone doesn't show up to their trip, or because a high school or myself messed up a field trip and someone didn't show up. So that's basically saying that we have to pay somebody else, so, just to sit here.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if, let's just say, all the drivers showed up, then they don't have to physically come in they only just in case as a standby call. Okay, so the driver didn't show up, now you have to go out.
So I would, okay, so let's just say I had Mike doing it. Mike says, yeah, I'll hang out for, Saturday, but he doesn't plan anything, because he's gotta be around, because trips start at 6 o'clock, or they can start as late as 3 o'clock. So Mike's sitting around between 6 and 3 o'clock waiting to see if someone didn't show up. So I gotta pay him, I gotta compensate him, because he's just sitting there. Like, he's literally not doing anything because he thinks he may or may not work. So that's why when we do our trips and we assign you, we expect you to show up to those trips. Again, this weekend, there was a lot of changes. Between Thursday and Friday, the high school made several changes. And so there was errors on my part, errors on their part, and, I mean, everything was got changed around. So, but again, I don't feel that having somebody sit around, that's why when something doesn't show up on Saturdays, I try to know who's next in line. At the same time, if it's an emergency, it's whoever's here. Like, I can't have time to email the entire group and wait for someone to respond back,
I
so,
understand that.
yeah. Good.
Is there a list for call-outs? Because I've been here for 10 years and I've never got a call.
When I first got here, I did find a list for call-outs, but I was told that it's never used.
Yeah, it's like the same people in trouble.
So what's the call-out?
It's just people who volunteer to do a weekend trip in case there's a call-out. So there's a list, so again, you volunteer. And so we will call you, but at the same time, if I call Mike or I call Jay or if I call Bob or Robert, Bob, I'm just calling you the same way. You can easily say, no, I got something to do. So I just keep going on the list until I can find somebody.
Can you make up a list so there's some kind of rotation? Like emergency call? Because I need it in this way and I've never been called.
You're good. I mean, I can call you from now on.
Make it a.
Believe me, at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, I wasn't happy to be trying to call people. I didn't know if someone's sleeping or not, so I mean, I can call you next time. Scott, no problem. It'll be the first on my list. Again, it's just a matter of who's gonna, I got one, look at the list to see who's already on a field trip, and then who's available. So,
Well, that's,
any other questions before I ask my questions? Go ahead, Kathy.
So is there any possibility that on the garages 3 and 4, we could put like a swipe on that door to get in and out instead of us jumping out of the bus, walking all the way around and going in and opening the door? I mean, because if you think about it, in the warm weather, those doors are open all day long,
Right.
okay? And we close them when we are all in at night. So why is it a big deal if that door is open or unlocked or left left so that we can get in it?
Are you
during
talking
the
about
day?
the side door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that shouldn't be a big deal, really, if you think about it. And then at night, we make sure it's closed and locked, and so nobody gets in.
I think it got to a point where there are so many drivers who had that key.
Oh, I don't mean necessarily a key, but could we just?
Nobody had that.
You're asking for a card reader on that
Just a
service
card
door?
reader.
Yeah.
There you go.
We had,
Thank you.
2 years ago, it didn't happen.
You know why?
I didn't know that.
This is new to me. Again, 2 years ago, I was just an admin assistant and sitting there doing payroll, so I wasn't,
The last contract, we tried to get a card reader on that door, and they would not do it. On our
You
agenda.
need a qualified
Just leave them
electrician.
locked.
on Main Street and Fort.
Just
Well,
don't
there's
lock
only
it
one
until
door,
it's
it's on
night.
door, it's on.
You can't unlock it.
Give all those buses
People have been propping that door open and they keep closing it,
Uh-huh.
I know, why can't you have it unlocked?
because they don't want it unlocked.
You have to leave the big doors open.
It's obviously an
Right,
issue.
but during the day, all those doors are open.
Yeah.
It's not like that area is locked anyways.
That is something that has to be
Those
discussed
big
with,
doors are open all the time.
Matt and O&M, and then we can see what they say.
That would be great.
So,
What
I just
if-
guess-
Running around that.
So you got the mechanic goes out and unlocks the fence around the propane. Can, that same individual, can he just go over to that service door and unlock it for the day?
For the day.
I talk to Matt and talk to O&M, and I can get back to you.
That would be nice.
I cannot give you an answer, yes or no. I can
I
just
mean, if they
ask.
put a swipe on this door over here, we've never used that door over there, now we do.
Mhm.
Right.
What's the difference? Right.
I don't know what the difference is, again, I would have to
I mean, I'm not
ask.
trying to
We keep going
argue
around in
this.
circles, all I can say is, we can ask.
Okay.
So, I have heard all of you, I've heard what you said, I get that, but the only thing I can do is, yes?
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead, no, go ahead.
I'd just like to wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Since you mentioned that, if you don't want me to put your birthday on there, all you have to do is tell me. I don't have to announce it. Nobody's ever complained about it in the past. And then somebody came up to me last month and said, don't put it up there, which is fine. All you gotta do is tell me. Then somebody else told me on Friday and their birthday was on Saturday. Again, if you tell me, I don't have to put it up there. It used to be posted all the time. If it's really a big deal, just tell me. I don't have to put your birthday on there. I'm not trying to offend anybody or say anything like that. I'll just take it off. Not a problem. Any other questions?
I want to put a big sign for mine.
All right, perfect. Thanks for the question. We just go home. We're good.
Happy birthday to you.
Big sign.